Here are the top 10 movies released in the year 2020. Number 10. Birds of Prey.
4 years after the defeat of the Enchantress, the Joker breaks up with Harley Quinn, throwing her out on the Gotham City streets. She is taken in by Doc, the owner of a Taiwanese restaurant, and recovers from her relationship by cutting her hair, adopting a spotted hyena, whom she names after Bruce Wayne, and taking up roller derby. Harley gets drunk at a nightclub owned by Roman Sionis, a ruthless crime lord, and cripples his driver after said driver insults her. She meets burlesque singer Dinah Lance, who later rescues an intoxicated Harley from an attempted abduction. Sionis is impressed by Dinah's fighting skills and appoints her as his new driver. The next night, Harley blows up the Ace Chemicals plant as a way to publicly announce her breakup with Joker.
Number 9. Mulan.
In Imperial China, Hua Mulan is an adventurous and active girl, to the disappointment of her parents, who hopes that one day she will be wed to a good husband. As a young woman, Mulan is forced to meet with a matchmaker to demonstrate her fitness as a future wife. Mulan, flustered, attempts to pour tea in front of the matchmaker, but a spider causes a panic that destroys the kettle, and the matchmaker calls her a disgrace in front of her family. To the north, an imperial outpost is invaded by Buran warriors, under the leadership of Bori Khan. They are assisted by the witch Shen Yang, who uses her magic to pose as a surviving soldier and report the attack to the emperor. He then issues a conscription decree ordering every family to contribute one man to fight Khan's forces.
Number 8. Bad Boys for Life.
Isabel Aredes, widow of cartel kingpin Benito Aredes, escapes from a Mexican prison with the aid of her son Armando. Isabel sends Armando to Miami, tasking him with recovering a substantial stash of money her husband Benito had hidden, as well as assassinating the people responsible for his arrest and eventual death in prison. Isabel demands that Armando kill Miami detective Mike Lowry last. In Miami, Mike accompanies his partner Marcus Burnett to the birth of his first grandson. Desiring to spend more time with his family, the aging Marcus tells Mike he intends to retire, to Mike's chagrin. During a party celebrating Marcus' grandson, Mike is shot by Armando and left in a coma for 6 months.
Number 7. Wonder Woman 1984.
In her youth, Diana Prince participates in a multi-stage athletic competition on Themyscira against older Amazons overseen by Queen Hippolyta. After falling from her horse, Diana takes a shortcut to catch up to it and resumes the competition. Just before she wins, her aunt Antiope removes her from the competition, lecturing that no true hero is born from lice. In 1984, 66 years after the first film, Diana works as a senior anthropologist at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., specializing in ancient Mediterranean civilizations. Diana also secretly fights crime as Wonder Woman. At work, she meets new employee Barbara Ann Minerva, an insecure woman who comes to idolize and envy Diana. After Wonder Woman foils an attempted robbery, the FBI asks Barbara to identify a cache of stolen antiquities from the robbery. Both Barbara and Diana notice that one object later revealed to be the Dreamstone has a Latin inscription.
Number 6. Enola Holmes.
Enola Holmes is the youngest sibling in the famous Holmes family. She is extremely intelligent, observant, and insightful, and defies the social norms for women of the time. Her mother, Eudora, has taught her everything from chess to jiu-jitsu and encouraged her to be a strong-willed and independent-thinking young woman. On the day of her 16th birthday, Enola awakens to find that her mother has disappeared, leaving behind only some birthday gifts. She rushes to the train station to meet her brothers, Mycroft and Sherlock, who fail to recognize her at first, not having seen her in many years. Sherlock finds her to be an intelligent girl, whereas Mycroft finds her troublesome. As her legal guardian, Mycroft intends to send her away to a finishing school.
Number 5. Sonic the Hedgehog.
On a distant planet, Sonic, an extraterrestrial blue hedgehog who can run at supersonic speed, finds himself sought after by a tribe of echidnas for his power. His guardian, Longclaw the Owl, gives him a bag of rings that opens portals to other planets. She uses one to send him to Earth while she fends off the echidnas. 10 years later, Sonic enjoys a secret life near the town of Green Hills, Montana, but longs to make friends. He idolizes the local sheriff, Tom Wachowski, and his veterinarian wife, Maddie, unaware the pair are planning to relocate to San Francisco soon, as Tom has been hired by the San Francisco Police Department. One night, Sonic becomes upset over his loneliness when playing baseball by himself, and runs at supersonic speed, and as a result, inadvertently triggering an electromagnetic pulse which causes a power outage across the Pacific Northwest.
Number 4. The Social Dilemma.
The documentary examines the effect that a handful of companies, including but not limited to Google, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have over the public. It is emphasized that a relatively small number of engineers make decisions that impact billions of people. The documentary examines the current state of social media platforms, focusing more specifically on problems in the industry. Jeff Orlovsky designed the film to include conversations that tackle concepts in technology such as data mining, technology addiction, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and surveillance capitalism. The film follows a cast of interviewees, most of whom have left their respective companies due to varying ethical concerns that the industry as a whole has lost its way.
Number 3. Emma.
In Regency-era England, wealthy Emma Woodhouse searches for a companion after her governess, Miss Taylor, marries and becomes Mrs. Weston. Emma settles on Harriet Smith, a younger girl who Emma supposes is the unclaimed child of a gentleman. Harriet's parents are unknown, but her education has been provided for. Emma learns that Mr. Robert Martin, a tenant farmer of her sister's husband's brother, Mr. Knightley, has proposed to Harriet. Though claiming she will not interfere, Emma manipulates Harriet into declining Mr. Martin's offer of marriage, much to Harriet's distress. Emma believes that Mr. Elton, the local vicar, is in love with Harriet and encourages Harriet to transfer her hopes to him, despite Mr. Knightley's warning that she should not involve herself in the situation. At Christmas time, Emma's older sister and Mr. Knightley's younger brother come to visit. After everyone leaves dinner with the Westons early, Emma finds herself alone in a carriage with Mr. Elton, who declares his love for her. Emma promptly refuses him and Mr. Elton disappears for 6 weeks, eventually returning with a wife.
Number 2. Tenet.
A CIA agent, the protagonist, participates in an undercover operation at a Kiev opera house. His life is saved by a masked soldier with a red trinket, who unfires a bullet through a hostile gunman. After seizing an artifact, the protagonist is captured by mercenaries. He endures torture before consuming cyanide. He awakens to learn that the cyanide was a test of his loyalty. His team has been killed, and the artifact lost. The protagonist joins a secret organization called Tenet. A scientist shows him bullets with inverted entropy, which allows them to move backwards through time. She believes that they are manufactured in the future, and a weapon exists that can wipe out the past. Aided by a local contact Neil, the protagonist traces the bullets to arms dealer Priya Singh. He discovers that she is a member of Tenet. Her cartridges were purchased and inverted by Russian oligarch Andrei Sater. The protagonist approaches Sater's estranged wife Kat, who knowingly sold Sater a forged Goya drawing to steal $9 million. Sater uses the drawing to blackmail her and keep her under his control.
Number 1. The Croods, A New Age.
Years ago, Guy's parents become trapped in tar. As they sink into it, they tell him to find somewhere called tomorrow. He goes on a long journey and meets a young Belt before eventually coming across Eep, leading to the events of the first film. The Croods, along with Guy and their pets Chucky and Douglas, are still searching for a place to settle down, all the while Grug acts annoyed at Eep and Guy's blossoming romance. One night, Grug comes across a giant wall and leads the whole pack to it. They are soon caught in a net and are released by the owners of the land, a couple named Phil and Hope Betterman, and they are soon revealed to be friends of Guy's late parents and therefore, no Guy. The Bettermans welcome the Croods to their giant tree home as house guests, where they meet their daughter and Guy's old friend Dawn, who immediately befriends Zeep.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button to join my channel. To get the instant notification for the newly uploaded videos, please click the bell icon.